everyone. My name is Monica Suyo, and I'm the Director of Recruitment and Community Engagement. Welcome to our second episode of Royal Reality Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking to our Director of College Initiative, Jerome Bennett, who will be talking about the road to college. Welcome, Jerome.
Thank you for having me, Monica. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure for me and for all of us. The purpose of this podcast is to inform our families about the different resources that we have for our students. So the first question will be, if you can tell us a little bit more about yourself and what are your responsibilities at Cristo Rey?
Yeah, so I'm the Director of College Initiatives at the school, which means that I have a team of 4. So there's me, there's 2 college counselors, Catalina, Latasha, and then Rivers, who's our alumni advisor. And so I manage them as we try to help students go to and through college. So that's my main role. That involves a whole host of different things that we'll talk about throughout the podcast. But kind of the main thing is making sure that we're kind of in alignment and have a plan and a vision for what we're doing to support students that are trying to go to college from our high school. And it's pretty cool because one of the things that I love is that I've been able to really connect with the students. It was something, stepping in, building trust was something I was a little bit nervous about, especially when I'd heard about some of the founding students and some of the challenges that they had encountered. And so to be able to step in and within a matter of weeks and months to have built their trust and have them trusting me and our team to know that, hey, we're here to support you and give you everything that you need as you pursue college. That was pretty exciting, but that's kind of what my role entails. I also do different things regarding data management, numbers, research, making sure that we are kind of on track to have all of our students accepted to at least one college, to make sure that all of our students are applying to their 10 college for graduation requirement and so on. So that's a big part of my role.
Wow, you say 10 college?
10 colleges.
So every student has to apply for 10 college. I mean, it will be from when they're in junior a year or when they're seniors?
No, so students can't really start applying to college until the summer between their junior and senior year. Some colleges start July 1st. Some colleges start on August the 1st. So some of them even after that. But students can't start applying until the summer. And so it's a lot of work. Like it's a stressful time in their life. And I don't ever want to diminish that. But we try to make it to where they are set up to find success within that work that they have to do between applying for college, looking into college, stepping into this major change in their life, and all of the other different things that they have, whether it's school activities, whether it's homework, whatever it may be, we kind of give them the support and resources needed to take on that pretty heavy task.
Wow. I have to admit, that it is a privilege, I think, or a blessing to have 4 college counselors on our campus. I have been in different schools and, sometimes it's the one counselor per grade level, but having 4 for all of our student population, I think that's great. So, and you guys are one of my favorite team. I have to admit that. I always say that all the time. I think that the students connect really well with each of you, have a good relationship, and just having, Ms. Rivers for being our alumni advisor, I think that's another privilege for our students who already are, graduate from Cristo Rey.
Yeah, at risk of making other departments jealous or a little annoyed, we do have the best team on campus.
Yes, definitely, and that's under your leadership. But anyway, let's talk about something else. So I was wondering, I know that you guys teach some college classes to our students. So I was wondering, which topics do you guys cover in those college classes?
So, first and foremost, I want to talk about kind of what our mission as a department is, because I think that kind of guides and aligns everything that we do moving forward. So our mission is that we assist, educate, guide, and empower students to find their best college fit. And we do that by helping students explore a wide range of different four-year college options. And we provide the necessary resources, information, and connections for the students to find their best fit to and through college. And some of the ways that we do that are we prioritize the students' best interest in finding their best college fit, engaging and including families in that process, because it's not just the student's process, it's the family's process. Even though they're going into adulthood and they're kind of stepping out on their own, it's a family process. We ensure that all students are on track to apply to at least those 10 four-year colleges. We provide a high level of college counseling through our College 101 courses and our College Senior Seminar, grades 9 through 12. And then we cultivate and strengthen a college-going culture school wide. And then we develop and grow relationships with our college and university partners. So that's kind of what we do as a team, and how that is really fleshed out are the different topics that we cover. So we'll talk about everything from financial aid to college knowledge to effective habits to excuse me, college applications and enrollment. And we also talk about academic profile. All of those things kind of fall under the umbrella to set students up for success. So when we're talking about effective habits, we're talking about learning how to study, learning how to manage your time, learning how to navigate those things. And each grade is a little bit different, right? So when students are stepping into high school, they aren't necessarily familiar with how to study.
That's true.
Yeah, and they have a study hall every day. So they need to learn those skills initially to go, and then learning more tactics and strategies and how to effectively do that kind of 10th, 11th, 12th grade. So we cover different topics, grade specific, 9 through 12 with those students. When we talk about academic profile, we're talking about GPA. We're talking about understanding which classes will give you the best course rigor, whether it's taking AP courses, whether you want to take AP courses, but maybe you're not quite ready for that, whether it's understanding how having 3 Bs this semester will affect your academic profile with regards to college, understanding how that relates to college. So there's different things to consider with regards to academic profile. We talk about college knowledge. There's just a lot of basic topics and information that students need to know. We have a lot of students who are first generation, and not that non-first generation students don't know this, because in my experience with the students we've worked with, there are a lot of students who are first generation students who do know some of the terminology and topics with regards to college. But then we have some who aren't first generation students and they're unfamiliar with those things. So helping them to understand how college works, how to understand what a credit hour is, how to understand what different clubs and organizations are on campus, how to understand, just a variety of different things with regards to the college process. We do college application and enrollment, so helping them to apply to those 10 colleges. So it may be that we spend, our class time that we have with them, helping them figure out, okay, what are the basics of the college application, filling out the common application, understanding what information is important, understanding how to self-report your grades or academic information on those college applications, and then financial aid components. So we're talking the FAFSA, we're talking about how that can determine whether you receive grants, loans, or work study. If you ask our students, hopefully all of them can be able to tell you that are seniors, because we've talked about this numerous times. We talk about scholarships. We talk about how just because a private school is expensive doesn't mean it's not affordable, or just because a public school seems inexpensive doesn't mean that it's more affordable than a private school. So understanding how some of those things all work together for their success. And the way that we execute that is that we have classes with our students. So our freshmen and sophomores, we meet with them once a month for our College 101 class. With our juniors in the fall, we meet with them once every other week. And then in the spring, once a week, or sometimes twice a week. Like right now, we're in a unit where we're doing twice a week. And then for our seniors, we meet with them once to twice a week throughout the entire school year. So it's varying frequencies that we meet with them, and it's varying information that we cover during those classes.
Wow, that's a lot of information, Jerome. I'm already feeling overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but I feel overwhelmed. I think it's wonderful, the job that you guys do with our students, because first of all, I'm not from here. I'm not from, when I came as an exchange student, I was not so familiar with the college environment in the US. So I think that providing these classes to our students, like you said, either for first college generation like myself, or for those people that are already familiar with college, is still, every year, the college process change little by little. There's more scholarship available. People forget about FAFSA. People have all these myths and misconceptions about going to college that could be expensive, that could be so difficult. So definitely these classes help our students. And what you are saying is that our students are exposed to this information from 9th grade all the way to 12th grade.
Yep. And it's progressive, right? So a 9th grader doesn't need the same information that a 12th grader needs. Like a 9th grader doesn't need to know about roommate selection.
Correct.
Whereas a senior in their spring semester needs to know about roommate selection. Should I room with a friend? What should I go about? What things should I line out? And those are things that, our alumni advisor can specifically cover with them. Understanding the details and minutia of financial aid. That's something or the FAFSA, that's something that a sophomore doesn't need, but a junior needs to know that going into their senior year, and a senior especially. And parents in particular also need to be familiar with maybe the concepts, but they don't get into some of the weeds and some of the details until, they get a little bit older. But we try to make it, specific to each grade on the things that we cover. And sometimes we have topics that can overlap that it is the same thing that we cover. Yeah. When we talk study habits, like we can talk to every grade about study habits. You can use the exact same presentation with every grade every year, because even when you think that they've got it, you have to continuously hammer things home with students.
And those are tools definitely that can help the students, not only when they're going to college, but actually with their current situation at high school. Like you say, study habits or test taking skills, that definitely help them currently. But anyway, and you say something that is very important, that parents have to be part of this process. It's kind of like a family project. I always talk to the students that going to college is like a investment. Right? It's an investment of your time, your money, and it's basically talking about your life. So, I'm thinking that parents are key in all this process. They are not only there to support, but like you say, to understand the struggles that a lot of our students face through this process. And it's better that they're at least familiar with these key or main concepts, for the road to college. But let's talk more about if you can share, with all of us, with our families and students, other ways that your team support our students during this college process.
Yeah. So some of the other ways that we support our students is that we do parent meetings. That's a big one. So for seniors, we have a kickoff meeting at the beginning of the school year with all the parents to kind of line out what the expectations are for the school year. And then we'll do meetings at the end of the school year where we'll discuss with the parents the final decision of the students. And we're always open for parents in that time to set up times with us and meet with us and have conversations. For our juniors, we meet with our junior parents in December to kind of line out, because this is our first real contact with them, to let them know about how we're going to do our college breakout for our students. So each counselor has a certain caseload of students. So we let them know about that. We really try to create and foster this concept of being open-minded. That's the thing that over my year and a half here that I've noticed, is that there are a lot of students and parents, or parents that maybe we run into this idea of, I don't want my student to go far away. I want my students to stay close to home. And we have some incredibly bright students. We have some incredibly magnificent students that, we want them to be able to spread their wings and have the opportunity, right? Just be open-minded to the process, and not just, well, you're going to stay close to home because that's what's comfortable, but maybe be open to the idea. And if they land back on the decision of hey, I want to be close to home, close to my family, then so be it. But opening the parents' minds and the students' minds to think about that. And I think starting it in junior year is important, because that's really when they're starting to engage in that. We do individual parent meetings with the juniors heading into senior year to talk about their college list that they're putting together, because students have to make a list of the colleges that they're looking to apply to. We try to make sure that they find academic matches. We try to make sure that they also give themselves an opportunity to do some academic overmatches or reaches. And then there are some that academically, if you will, don't fit their profile, but that doesn't mean it's a lesser school or doesn't meet the bar. It's just academically, when you look at the profile of the college, it fits. That we look at target graduation rates. We look at a lot of different things kind of in that. And we want parents to be familiar with that and open to that. And something that we're trying to do, and I'm not sure if we'll get it this year or start next year, is something with 9th and 10th grade parents to introduce them to our process. So
the idea of just going to college, right? To start, yes,
right. Because we talk with the juniors, we talk with the seniors, and so getting them, even if it's just a general college information session. Hey, we've got a college admissions representative from OU. We've got a college admissions representative from Oklahoma City University, from Southern Nazarene, whatever it may be. Hey, come learn more about the college process from College Professional. Or we could have sessions that we could host and tell them more about kind of what we do. So those are some ways that we support our parents and students. Some of the other ways that we support our students are we've taken students on college visits. So last summer, I think we went on 7 or 8 different college visits.
And that started when they're junior or when they are a freshman?
It was between there. So last school year, all of our grades, except for the seniors, went to Oklahoma City University. So at different times. So we had a day where we took all the freshmen, a day we took all the sophomores, and a day we took all the juniors. We didn't do that this year. We hope to figure out how to make that work, because I don't want to just take them to the same university every year, right? That gets boring. They get tired. They know what it is. They get familiar. That's that's not what we're trying to foster here. When we're talking about open-mindedness, like taking them to the same school is not kind of what we're looking for. And so we want to do that. But then when I started last year, me and Kata, and before Tasha came on board, we had took a couple trips. So we took a group of students to University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. And the reason we did that, it was a smaller school, regional school, and it's a liberal arts college. We went out of state to go visit Wichita State, which is a public institution out of state. And then we visited University of Tulsa, a private school in state. So the concept is, you see, that's 3 different types of schools. And so whenever we moved into this summer, for our rising seniors, so our juniors going into senior year, we did kind of the same thing. So we went to the University of Arkansas, a public school out of state. We went to Newman University, a Catholic university in Kansas and Wichita. They're both in the Wichita area. We went to Oklahoma State. We went to, we were going to go to Northeastern State. I didn't get the signups that I wanted. And then we went to Austin College and Texas Christian University in Texas. And so, University of Texas at Arlington. We did take some students to TCU this spring, but we again intentionally try to have different types of colleges so students can go and see, okay, this is what a liberal arts college looks like. It's not just this terminology that they use. This is what a large public institution out of state looks like. This is what a commuter university out of state looks like. This is what an in-state comprehensive university. This is what an in-state regional institution looks like, to give students the opportunity. And what we did was we would have students sign up, and we take a van or two of students to go visit that college and get a feel, again, to see if it's something that they might like. Another thing we've done is we've hosted college fairs at our school. So
I have seen those.
We had a college fair recently where we had 19 different college reps from the Dallas Fort Worth area regional networks. They have admissions representatives in Dallas, so they came up here and did a college swing, and they picked us. There was one out of like 5 different high schools in Oklahoma City that they came to visit. So I try to tell our students, like, hey, I hope you all recognize what an honor this is that they chose you. They could have chose a lot of other high schools. They chose our school to come and visit and share more about their colleges. We went to a college fair in Dallas this past summer. We took 40 students. It was a Colleges That Changed Lives college fair, 44 different liberal arts colleges. And so we had a bunch of our students go down there, and they were open to a whole new brand of colleges that they had never heard of before. They're all throughout the country. And so I think different things like that of resources and support that we provide is really helpful. On the alumni side, we have students who've come in and got help with their FAFSA. We've had students who've come in and gotten help with enrolling in classes and doing some of the things that they needed even once they've graduated from our school. So we provide those resources, again, not just while they're in school, but also when they're out of school. And when we do our classes, that's a big, big part of like our support. So when parents are thinking, oh my gosh, my kid has to apply to 10 colleges. Well, if you look at our syllabus, we are truly, if they stay on task and do the assignments, we are walking them through every single step of the process. The things that we do are intentional and on purpose. There's nothing accidental that we're doing in terms of like, because we get them once or twice a week. We don't have every day with them. So when we do it's intentional, it's purposeful, and we don't want to waste their time or our time. So when we're telling them, hey, you need to set up the portals from the colleges you've been accepted to, the whole point of that is that whenever we come back to check financial aid, that's already set up and you don't have to recreate that. When we're giving you a spreadsheet of like the colleges you've applied to, this isn't a wasteful thing. This is whenever we come back in February and ask you to go look at the colleges that you've applied to, you'll know where they are and you can track that information down. So there's a lot of support and resources that we've really created to help our students find success.
Wow, that's a lot of information. And I said it before, it could be a little overwhelming for our students, but at the same time, what I like about it is that you said that each counselor have a group of students under their wings to help them. And that's good. So in this way, they build that relationship. They have somebody that they can reach out to contact if they have any questions or any concerns. I wish I have these resources when I was growing up. In my case, it was just go to college, but nobody explained me what it means going to college, what it involved. Like now you're talking about not only exposing this to different type of college, but also out of the state. That's another thing, I came from another country and you go through all this homesickness and then adaptation struggles. So I hope that our students are prepared with all this information, because you guys not only bring, like you say, college classes, not only talk about different, financial aid, college options, what involved to apply for a college, but also you talk about something that is important, like making sure that our students step on a campus, at least one, but I know that it's more than one,
Right.
during their high school life. So that's good for them. That's good for them to see it, not only when the college comes to our campus, but also to visit different college campuses. So I think that's important. I'm trying to summarize all the information. It's kind of hard, but I think that everything that you guys are doing is great for them, because I think that they need to start thinking about college when they're in freshman. It would be great that they think about it when they're in middle school, but I know that, some of our students are not exposed to that type of information. Moreover, some of our students forget in middle school to start applying for Oklahoma Promise. That is a resource that is out there. So I'm glad that you guys are members of your wonderful team, like I said, under your leadership, because I think it is important for our students and families to know that the college process starts from the moment that they start ninth grade. Now, let's talk more about parents. Like I said, our parents, some of them are not familiar with the college process. My parents probably will be one of them. And the U.S. is totally different from other countries. Most of our parents are Hispanics, and some of them, they didn't grow up here. So I'm happy to know that our team, we have Miss Catalina, who is bilingual, correct?
Yep.
So that's great for our parents that don't speak the language. But I would like to talk more about how do you all help our parents during this journey to college for their students? How do you help them? How do you support them? Because we talk about that they are important in this process.
Yeah, I think those parent meetings are important. And part of what I think about, or what I've thought about coming into this, is that, one, I'm a parent myself. I've got a 10-year-old, about to be a 10-year-old and 8-year-old. So I have to think about, like, is this something that I would do for my children? Is this something I would want for my children? And let that kind of be not guided, but like be part of the thinking. Like, if it's something that I feel like would be important for them, it should be equally as important for the people that I work for and their parents also. So I think that's something that I think about. And then I think about my own process. Like, my parents, neither of my parents really went to college. They did some online, like, college when they were in the military, but they knew the military, and that was really it. And so there wasn't a whole lot there that they could provide, not because of their own fault or nothing wrong. Like, they wanted to be able to, but it was something that they just didn't go through that process. And so I think about that also, and let that kind of help guide some of the things that I think about and what our team can do. And so when we have those conversations, like, trying to make sure that we're breaking it down to, like, the lowest common denominator, right? And thinking about, and not to be presumptuous, because if a parent comes in and says, well, I know, okay, then, well, we can change what this conversation looks like. But trying to be mindful of, maybe the parents have no clue of what we're talking about, and meeting them where they are. And when we do our parent meeting, especially the junior year, that's the one where we're really kind of lining out, like, okay, here's who we are as a department. Here are the things that we do, and here are the things that we're going to be doing with your student. And I'm going to share that information with you so that you can see it later. Here's our college website that's been built so that you can go and see that information. Here's our Instagram page that we created for our college counseling specific. It was more of an internal thing to share with students, or maybe even families that would get on there, so that we could share scholarship stuff. We could share quick notes. We could celebrate little things, not trying to replace or take over any other social media, but just something that could be specifically for our students, that they know they can come here and find some college stuff.
Especially tailored for our student population and families.
Right. And if I go on a visit to a college, a fly-in or something like that, or if one of my team members do, we can do a story like, hey, here's this college, here's some information about it, here are sessions, here are things that I've learned that you all could take back, and then they can kind of see. They made fun of me in my stories whenever I got back from. I went to visit Providence College earlier this year, and so I was doing stories, and they made fun of me. And I went to visit another school, and they were like, Mr. Bennett, every time you start, you pull your camera out and you're like, hey, this is Mr. Bennett. I'm at such and such college. Follow me for the rest of the day and I'll tell you more about it. So they kind of poke fun at me, but at least I know they're watching and they're learning about it.
And that's a great way to connect with our students and also our families. You know, there is a lot of young parents that they have social media, or anyone have either
Right.
Facebook and Instagram. So it's always good to connect not only through meetings, but also through social media or emails. I know that you guys also have a newsletter. So that's great, for the parents and the students to be involved. What I like about what you're saying is that our parents have access to the same resources and information that the students get, on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So,
And something else too that we do to support students, and I forgot to mention this, and you actually helped with one of these when you first started, was we do financial aid nights. So
yes.
for our seniors, filling out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, if you're not familiar with that, but the FAFSA, whenever our students are filling that out, we have this year we had 4 different nights where students and families could come up there and get their FAFSA completed with us. We would have a college financial aid staff member come and support us and answer any questions, things that we didn't know about, or maybe some unique things on the FAFSA that may have popped up. They could come and answer some of those specific questions. And I give a shout out to you because I had just told you to come meet, like, hey, stick around for a few minutes to maybe say hi to some parents since you were new on the job. And you stuck around for 30, 45 minutes, talking to families and trying to assist. And so for that, I'm really grateful knowing that, like, hey, you jumped in and helped support us and give us that kind of boost with families. And so it's a collective team effort, not just us doing it.
And I want to say that, like as a former educator, I can say that our families need support from all of us. Like you say, it's a team effort, and the same with the students, because it's only 4 of you and we have around 240 students. So definitely it's everybody have to be involved and everybody have to do their part. And, I'm so happy that I took one of our students to MACU, and, I will be more than happy to join one of those college visits, because to be honest, I always enjoy, visiting college. It's one of my favorite memories, just to come abroad and, go to college to the University of Oklahoma. So it has been a good experience. It's different from my own country. So I understand what the families are going through, some of our students, and I think that our students just need to be informed so they can make, wise decisions.
Yep.
So, well, Jerome, the next question is like, now that we talk about celebrations, you talk about, traveling and putting your pictures and stories on social media, but also I know that we celebrate a lot in our campus about college. So can you tell us a little bit more about how do we celebrate and promote college culture on our school?
Look, that is such a big deal. I think it lines out, the thing we think about when you're building something out is you have to think about how the little decisions you make, positive or negative, will have long-term effects, right? So like the little things you implement will carry on forever. So if you say, hey, look, our school is about going to college and we have 3 pennants up and we do 1 celebration in 3 years, then the trajectory of that is that it's not going to become a big deal to everyone, 6, 7, 8 years down the road, right? And so the things that, that we have set up, when I got there, Catalina had a little, the area with some pennants and a few things kind of up there, but we were able to collect more and more pennants and collect more and more college information. We have a Chester drawer full of tons of information, like from hundreds of colleges, probably of things that we've collected either from colleges visiting us, when I've gone to national college fairs, when I've gone to conferences. I've tried to accumulate information to bring back for our students to have access to. And I've had probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 people in the past year that come to our area that aren't familiar with it just say that they love the energy, they love the vibe of our counseling suite. It's because we have it set up to be so energetic and enthusiastic and fun. But in terms of like some of the celebrations that we do, so our biggest one is that we do a decision day. So last year, all of our seniors, we had a big decision day. So our students announced where they were going to college, or we announced for them. They told us, and if they wanted to tell their friends, they could. We had a couple that kept it a secret. And so we celebrated. We had college admissions representatives there with us. We had a gentleman who was an ROTC officer to announce our student who was going to the Naval Academy.
I remember that too.
And so we had all these different people from different areas that came to announce our students. We had alums at our school. So Miss Herman, the principal, and then Miss Bass, who was one of our former teachers, announced students that were going to the colleges they graduated from. And so it was a huge celebration. We had hundreds of people in there, all of our students celebrating. And so it was a big, big deal, especially for the first year of like, hey, this is where our students are going to college. And so it was a lot of fun. Some of the kind of intermediate things that we've done, one of the first things I wanted to do is my background originally is working with maps, my degrees in geography, and And so I'm all about maps and visuals in that way. And so we got a big giant map that we put up in the main lobby in the atrium.
Mm-hmm.
And on that map, it's on a magnet whiteboard. And so we have magnetic pins. And so we can put pins where students have been accepted. And so we've got pins all over that wall of where our students have been accepted. So as a visual aid, it's just a boom right in your face. Look at all these places throughout the country where our students have been accepted to college. And then we also have, for each individual student, they have their own placard on the wall with their name.
Yes.
And every college that they get accepted to, we put that logo on there. So if a student's been accepted to 7 colleges, they'll have 7 logos. If a student's been accepted to 4 colleges, then they'll have 4 on there. Students been accepted to 20 colleges, then they'll all be on there. And so that's a way to celebrate. And you know, when you walk in, students are always on our case. Are you going to update the wall? When's the wall getting updated? They're big
That's
on that.
That's pressure as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Kind of holding us accountable to some degree. They're always
That's
kind of
true,
on us asking about that. We've got celebrations that we do. So we'll do assemblies throughout the year where we'll announce all the colleges where students have been accepted to. So same thing with the placard, but we put it up visually, and all of our students are there, and we'll say, hey, this is where such and such has been accepted to, and go through all the colleges, and everyone gets excited and cheers. Student will stand up. And
I think that we keep celebration their success, our student success, but at the same time, last week I remember the alumni panel. It was wonderful just to see familiar faces for our students and that they shared their experience. I think that was not only an informational session, but it was also a way to celebrate, our alumni. Yep. So I think that you guys are an amazing team. I know that we're running out of time. I want to encourage every student and family to at least stop by the atrium and to take a look at the map, take a look at every student's college acceptance. And if you didn't visit the college counseling suite, you are missing it. Believe me, you are missing it because it's wonderful. The vibe, I just love it. But anyway, our last question, before we go, it is what kind of advice, suggestions, recommendations you want to give to our students and parents? And if you want, you can look at the camera.
Yeah, I'll look right at the camera.
Yes.
So something that I'd like to say to students, parents, families is that you all have a lot more opportunity than you think. Parents, sometimes you need to kind of gas your children up or give them more belief that they can do it. And, we try to tell them how great they are. We try to tell them that they can do it. We try to encourage them on a regular basis. And so we want you all to do that. We also just want you to be open-minded. Just be open-minded and know that just because the school is far away doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It could be a 4-year window for your student, and then they come back home and they're able to provide and support and help and encourage even better than if they stuck around. And not saying that leaving here is the end all be all, but just being open-minded, I think is of the utmost importance in terms of supporting your children. And just thinking about college in general, like there are a lot of resources out there. If your student goes to a school that doesn't have as much support counseling wise, tell them to be intentional, and know that if they go ask questions, then those counselors will help and support them. Also, just if you're thinking about college, private college can be affordable for some of your students. It may be more affordable than some of the other public institutions, but it's a lot of research. It's a lot of asking questions, and it's a lot of intentionality. If you and your student are intentional in the process, then you'll find success, especially at a school that maybe doesn't have the resources. For us, we lay it out there on a silver platter, so it makes it a lot easier. But if it's not out there and available to you in that way, then please be resourceful, be intentional, ask questions. Your counselors and other people are there to help and support.
Well, thank you, Jerome. I know I'm so sorry that we ran out of time. Definitely you need to come back. Well, you hear that from Jerome, from Mr. Bennett. He said to all our families to just be supportive, right?
Yes.
To be flexible, to be open-minded, and to celebrate our student success. I think that that's important. Our students are going through this difficult path, the road to college. So definitely we need to be there, being the cheerleaders, support them, and provide that information. Anyway, it is time to say goodbye. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bennett. Definitely we will continue talking about this. I encourage all of our families to visit our school website, to be connected with us through our social media pages like Instagram and Facebook. And next time we will be talking with our corporate work study program. So please don't miss our next episode. Again, my name is Monica Suyo, and thank you so much for being with us on this second episode. Thank you, Jerome.
All right, thanks for having me.
Okay, bye.